I am here with Ross Mullan, so excited to be talking to one of the White Walkers.
Hi Tan, very nice to meet you.
And you as well. Now, of course, we meet your character at the end of season 2 on a bit of a cliffhanger, don't we? What was it like for you making that big entrance?
It was fantastic. I had 2 months of training horseback riding without a saddle, so that was amazing for me. We shot everything on green screen at Shepperton Studios, so despite the cold effect, it was actually boiling hot on set. It was very, very warm. But it was brilliant. In order to get the full effect when we were shooting it, they brought me in from makeup on the horse. They just flew open the barn doors and then rode me in onto the set, so the whole cast were just like, oh my god, it's a White Walker. Yeah, so it was great. It was a great rush. I mean, it was fantastic, and it was a very easy shoot. It was, very laid back and fun. We tried loads of variations, working with a black horse, a white horse, so it was really cool.
Well, it was looking good in the end, I might say. Now, walk me through what it's like getting physically made into a White Walker, because there's a lot of stuff going on in there, in this picture that we can see behind us, and this, of course, is just the top half, isn't it?
Yes. Well, from the neck down, it's relatively straightforward. It comes in 2 pieces. It's sort of like a wetsuit almost. But everything is molded exactly to my body, and it takes approximately 2 months to make the entire build. For me, getting in, it's about 4 hours in makeup, and a majority of that is the head and the blending between the neck and the shoulder areas and the hands and all of the feet work, because I work in bare feet. The other thing is the eyes. Although that's computer generated, the 2 blue eyes there, I had to wear black contacts, which were quite large, so wearing these 2 really deep black contact lenses were quite difficult for someone who has never worn contact lenses before, so it's a bit like the Clockwork Orange trying to put them in. I was like, no! But it was great. It's a great team, very relaxed. You have to have a bit of patience, obviously, to be sitting there in the chair, but I really enjoy it. I kind of meditate, when that's going on. The work around the eye is probably the hardest. You get very, very bitty, pointed sort of work, but that's really the biggest challenge with the makeup, really. Yeah.
So you must be also in that costume. I'm guessing it's quite hot as well. If it's something like a wetsuit and you're in a studio with lights and all of that, how do you kind of keep your composure, concentrate on what you've got to do, hit your marks and everything when you're kind of feeling like that?
Well, it's funny because it's like a wetsuit. When the weather outside is hot, you get very hot. When the weather outside gets cold, you get very cold. Because when the suit gets cold, you get very cold. When the suit gets hot, you get very hot. So that can be a little bit of a challenge. Hitting my marks and stuff, everybody kind of makes it easy for you. You walk through it a bit. The last shoot I did was 2 night shoots. That's what's coming up in Series 3. That was a little bit more challenging because I think as you work throughout the night, your body temperature naturally drops. And because I was working barefoot, that could be a little bit of a challenge. But, I enjoy doing it loads. I love playing a White Walker. It's crazy. It's nice to have hair as well. What little hair he has, I am very happy to be working with. And it's crazy. It blows around a little bit and gets in my mouth. And I think, wow, that's what it's like to have hair again. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love it. You can tell by the way you talk about that you really enjoy it, and obviously you're talking about the makeup that you can meditate and stuff. So obviously that keeps you kind of calm and cool and under pressure. And I know that you've done a lot of physical theatre and mask work, in fact, before, haven't you? So how's that help you when you're playing something like the White Walker?
I think that is probably key to how I maybe got into this. Really, is mask work is very specific. When you put a mask on. Unlike prosthetics, the prosthetics move with every feature that you have, which is fantastic development. But when you put a mask on in like old style theater, nothing really moves. So you really have to articulate your head movements and accentuate your body movements. So I trained a lot as a physical actor, really. Quite a bit of dance training, a bit of combat training as well. They all kind of bleed into each other. It's always unusual not working with your own face, especially when you see the end result like this, and you kind of go, oh, that's me. But then when everybody goes, wow, that was so cool, you think, okay, that was me. You think, man, I look old. But it's great. It's really good. I mean, it's fantastic working with to be able to work with a character that is so completely different than your own face is a gift, really. And that is testament to the prosthetics department, Connor O'Sullivan and their team, Creatures Limited.
You worked with them, was it on Clash of the Titans? You worked with those guys before, wasn't it?
Yeah, I worked on Clash of the Titans with the same team, and that was very challenging. That was 40 pounds of prosthetic and very heavy. It was very, very hot because we were working with real fire, real steam on set. And I was mostly blind. It was because the witch is blind in Clash of Titans. So that was a very challenging shoot. But again, after the first 4 hours, when you kind of iron out what we're doing and how we're going to lay out the days, it just became easy work, and it was a lot of fun, and the end result was hilarious for me, sitting there going, that's me. I'm like this really huge, overweight woman. I do look a little bit like Iggy Pop, I think, here in this.
Yeah, like the adverts with him.
Yeah, all wrinkly and muscly. It's crazy.
Now, you're talking about, in Clash of the Titans, of course, you couldn't see it, and you mentioned about the black contacts, and you said how they were. I mean, could you actually see with those? How did they work?
Yeah, you can see through the black contact completely. That's not a problem. You just get a bit of blurry vision around the edges. You need to keep topping up with like saline solution and stuff, but they're fine once they're in. Some people like to have them take them in and take them out, take them in and take them out for let your eye rest, but I'm a bit like, once they're in, leave them in, because getting them in is like torture. Getting them out is a little bit of torture too, but I usually leave them in for the whole day.
And did any of your kind of physical theatre work and stuff, because you're used to using your body, did that help you at all when you were coming to learn about horseback riding?
Horseback riding is a whole different kettle of fish. I think the good thing was I had a natural ability to throw myself into something. I'd always wanted to. I love animals. I loved the idea of just being on a horse. When they told me on the second day that I was going to be riding without a saddle, I was a little bit, nope. But I loved it. I have good balance too. I think you kind of need some good balance if you're riding without a saddle. I loved it. That was a gift. I mean, I'm in my 40s now. That they went out of their way to train me up to ride a horse. I was like, awesome. I can't wait. Get me on the horse, And I had people down at the Devil's Horseman who trained me. They were just amazing. Yeah.
So how long were you doing that for, the training? And also, how long did it take shooting this final scene in episode 2?
Well, about 2 months.
Sorry, series 2, I mean.
Yeah, series 2. 2 months to build the suit, really. And the makeup and everything, and doing makeup tests. I would say I had about 2 months training on a horse, and then it was 2-day shoot for that 1.5 minute, 2 minutes on screen.
But that's, I think, one of the things that we love and that shows so much in the show is the time, the energy, the care, the effort that's put in for it. It really comes across on the screen, and that work that HBO and everyone associated with, and the production and the actors put into it, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that is the key, is they have an attention to detail which is immaculate. They wanted everything to be right for the White Walkers' entrance. They wanted it to be the best cliffhanger that could possibly be in the history of television. I mean, I saw there was a list of the top 10 cliffhangers in television history in the States. I think JR being shot on Dallas was number 1, and the White Walkers' entrance was number 2. I thought, I'll take that. That's good, yeah. So
I've arrived
on horseback.
Now, I wanted to ask also, you make a really kind of guttural noise kind of to egg the people on, to egg all the White Walkers and the Wights on to kind of go into battle. Tell me about, where did that come from?
The sound department. Yeah, I could do the best I could with my own voice, but sound department did everything else.
Were you pleased with the final effect? I thought it was amazing.
Oh, it was awesome. It was actually very much how I imagined it was described to me at the audition, and by D.B. Weiss and David Bianoff. They were like, it's going to be this like ice kind of frosty, breaking glass sort of screeching. So everything in my head was like, okay. And then when I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's it. That is really cool.
Now, of course, season 3 has already started. It's tremendous, as we would have expected. You're enjoying it yourself, I know. What are you looking forward to from your character and from the other characters in the show as well?
Well, what am I looking forward to? I'm on I've seen episode 1 and episode 2. I cannot wait to see more of the dragons. So outside of my character, that's what I really love. I love the dragons. I guess when I was a little boy, that's what I loved the most, was the dragons and all of that. And watching the dragons kind of develop in Khaleesi's story is incredible. For my character, what am I looking forward to? I can't wait to see what the audience's reaction is going to be when I come back. Yes.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I can't tell you.
It'll be very dark. I guarantee. Yeah.
Well, it's this kind of show we were talking about before that really keeps you on your toes, I suppose, as an audience, and I guess as an actor as well, in terms of, anything could happen, almost literally, couldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Anything could happen at any time to anybody. Characters sometimes are there one moment and they're gone the next, So it's one of those shows that really keep their audience on their toes, isn't it? You kind of never know what's going to happen to the characters. You never know where they're going to go.
And what do you think you need to survive or thrive even in the world of Game of Thrones? Because we've seen so many fall by the wayside, haven't we?
What do you need to survive? I think I don't know. Sometimes I look at John Bradley's character Sam, and I think because he's a survivor. He's a really long-term survivor as a character. He's a very well-rounded character. You always want to know more of where this character is going to go. So I think if you have an area that you can develop, like where is this character going to be in maybe 5, 6, 7 episodes, that's a great thing. I think sometimes characters, it's good to pull them out when you don't know what's going to happen to them. But it's a real guessing game on Game of Thrones. You just have no idea where they're going to turn next.
Like Game of Guesses.
Game of Guesses, indeed.
If you have a favourite character in the show, who would it be? And if you hadn't been a White Walker, if you could be anybody else, who would you like to be?
Wow, what a question. Well, I think my favorite character, I've got two. I love Sam. And I get to work with him, so I'm very partial to him. But I love Khaleesi as well. I love the mother of all dragons, and I love that. I love her kind of area of the story. I guess because it's really hot, and I'm always in the cold. So one of those characters would be really great. Part of her tribe if I just got to wear little clothing, that would be great.
You get to show off Ross as is more, rather than behind everything.
And maybe go into a hot set, like somewhere nice and sunny. So on my day off, I could lay out in the sun and swim.
Definitely. Great locations on the show, aren't there?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Now, if you had to be anyone else yourself, who would you be, though?
In Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Who would I be?
Anybody.
I guess, I'd be sitting on the throne, of course.
And very good you look on it too, I'm sure.
Yeah, Robb Stark, I guess. Yeah.
He's a good character.
Yeah, he's a good character. I mean, that's the place I want to be. Yeah.
Nice choice, I like it.
Cool.
Now, what's it like? You mentioned John Bradley there, working with those guys on set. Because I have interviewed him before, he's such a lovely guy. He comes
really
across
lovely.
there.
Yeah, he's extremely lovely. He was brilliant to work with on Series 2. He came in and all he did was hiding behind a rock with me, but always there as my eye line, always, a really lovely guy. I had more to do with him in Series 3, which was great. We had a 2-day shoot together with him and Hannah, and I love working with him. He's a really lovely guy. He's just good when you're just sitting around on set and having a chat. It's just nice.
And we heard, I think it was Joe Alton, who plays Pip, said that he's a really funny guy as well, that he keeps everyone laughing on set.
Yeah. Josef Alton just over there, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, I follow him on Twitter. He's hilarious. I only actually met him for the first time this morning at breakfast.
Did you?
Yeah. And now we're just kind of shooting swords at one another across the room.
Exactly.
Cool.
You see, the Night's Watch and the White Walkers, they don't get on, do
we
they?
don't get on, man. They're losers.
It's official, Night Watch, they're losers.
They are losers.
You heard it here first. Yeah, well, White Walkers don't really get on with anybody, though, do they?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Well, maybe with each other, I don't know.
Maybe with each other.
Yeah, we'll see.
You've got to have some friends.
You've got to have some friends in this world.
Now, Ross, what has it meant to you to be part of Game of Thrones? Because, as I say, it's such a popular show. Everyone loves it so much.
It's fantastic. When I first got the call for the audition, I actually hadn't watched the show at all. So I kept calling it King of Thrones. So I had to do a bit of my homework. And then, of course, the day before my audition, I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. And then I watched the whole series. I was blown away. I kind of wasn't sure. I had to kind of start looking into where this story had come from and found out that there were books. It seemed that some of the characters almost seemed steeped in real history, like the king seemed almost like King Henry VIII. And, you know, it's fantastic. I mean, it's always wonderful to be part of something that is very creative, well thought out, well written. I've been very fortunate in my career that I have worked with a lot of that. Game of Thrones is no different to that. I've been very, very fortunate.
What would you like to say to fans of Game of Thrones who are watching this video, this interview with you?
Winter is coming.